Hello, Melba, Paul, and Jordan. It's Wednesday, and I am running out of time, which is why I'm on the move. Okay, got everything. So, today I was going to give you a really detailed rundown of one of my favorite mythological swords, Gramr, or I suppose the proper term would be Gramr, which spelled G-R-A-M-R. But unfortunately, we don't have that sound in our language. In any case, I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to give you a really nice, quick rundown while I drive to my meeting. Yes, this is dangerous. This is extremely dangerous. Don't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, but so, essentially, Gramr was the sword of Sigmund. And Sigmund had many brothers and sisters. His sister, in fact, was going to get married to the king at the time. And during the wedding, Odin showed up. And what Odin did is he brought a sword of his own making and he thrust it into a tree that grew in the center of the hall of the king. And Odin declared, disguised as an old man, that any man that could draw the sword out of the tree would become its master, and he would never lose a battle as long as he held the sword. So every guest at the wedding tries, every male guest anyway, because, you know, Norse. And the one who succeeds is Sigmund. Now, the king really wanted this sword. He couldn't pull it out of the tree himself, so he offers Sigmund a large quantity of gold in exchange for the sword. Sigmund declines, saying that he pulled the sword out of the tree, he is its master, and he's going to keep it. So the king, being a nice tyrannical ruler, decides to kill Sigmund. He invites Sigmund and all of his brothers and his father to a feast, supposedly for pulling the sword out of the tree in celebration of this, and instead he captures them all and chains them to trees, where they are one by one eaten by wolves in the forest. Unfortunately, is what the king forgot is that his new wife was Sigmund's sister. She's obviously not too keen on the king murdering her entire male lineage, because he won't, for a sword. So, is what she does is she sends a servant out to the grove where they're all tied up, and she has the servant smear honey all over Sigmund's face. So when the wolves come the next night, they begin to lick the honey off of Sigmund's face, and then when the honey's gone and she's about to bite Sigmund moves the chain in the way, and the wolf bites through the chain, freeing Sigmund, and he's able to flee into the forest and hide. As he is hiding in the forest, his sister, I think it was Sigby, I forget her name, but she sends her sons with the king to him to try to be his apprentices and help get revenge upon what is their father. But Sigmund determines they have weak blood, quote unquote, and he kills them for this sin. Eventually, knowing that she needs to give Sigmund a strong, pure-blooded, quote unquote, heir, she, and as the legend goes, switches places with a sorceress, and she goes into Sigmund in disguise and sleeps with her brother, and she bears a son, Sigurd. Sigurd, when he becomes of age, obviously Sigmund's been in the forest for quite some time now, Sigurd goes to his father, and he is shown to be of pure blood, quote unquote, and they go off to get revenge upon the king. Unfortunately, the king still has the sword, meaning he can't lose battle, and they are promptly caught, and this time the king decides he's just going to bury the both of them alive and make sure they can't escape. Unfortunately for him, his wife, Steel, and Sigmund's sister, steals the sword Gramr and throws it into the burial mounds with an armful of straw. Sigmund gets the sword somehow, before being buried alive. Him and his son manage to dig their way out of the burial mound, and they just set fire to the king's entire palace. They try to get his sister out before this happens, but she says, no, I had this son that we have born together as an abomination. I slept with you, and I deserve to die for this. So she stays in the palace and burns to death with the king and all of his servants. And that is the beginning of the story of Sigmund, Sigurd, and the sword Gramr. That's a brief overview of the myth. I hope to do a little better. Maybe I will next time. Until next week, be strange, but don't be a stranger.